Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm just adjusting my camera there. Okay, so I'm reading for Gemini energy today and it seems quite fun. It seems quite free and easy. I went out for a walk the other day and saw loads of butterflies, which is Gemini energy for me. So it feels like you're in quite a flowy mood. There could be some changes coming in for you. I feel like you're instigating the changes. I mean, you're the Magician card, so you can basically make whatever you want to happen, you can make it happen. You may be feeling a little bit nostalgic, like that kind of Six of Cups energy, about a particular friend from the past. So I feel like you had a very pally relationship with somebody, kind of like, you know, like when you're in high school, you normally, like, you can often have like one friend that you're really attached to, or like even like younger than that, but it's like that one, or even college, I guess, but it's like that one friend growing up that you were really, really attached to. It's like you did everything together. It's coming through with the song Bros by Wolf Alice. So I don't know if you're meeting up with somebody that you used to know, like I don't know if they've popped into your head suddenly, they've rang you out of the blue, and it's like, do you know what, let's meet up. We've not seen each other for a long time, let's go out and have some fun. So shake your head, have some fun. That seems to be your energy. You do feel like you've got plans. You feel like you've got something up your sleeve. If it's not you, it's somebody around you, because it kind of actually says element of surprise. So yeah, I do feel like, I just feel like this, you've got something up your sleeve energy. Like you've got plans, you've got, I don't know if you want to surprise somebody or like they want to surprise you. Maybe again, it could be like phoning somebody up out of the blue and kind of being like, right, come on, you're coming out with us, especially if somebody's been having a bit of a bad time. Shake your head to have some fun. Sorry, I keep saying it, but it's really coming through for you. What else? I've got the ability to find creative solutions to get out of stuck situations. So again, either you or a friend, or maybe even like a family member, like a brother or something, could be feeling very, very stuck. It's kind of like, I don't know, just feeling like this stuck feeling, and it's like the creative solution to get out of that. So really thinking out of the box. I think Taurus had an element of this. It was like, or was it Aries? Somebody had this thing about finding loopholes around legislation. So it's like that creative thinking, that out of the box thinking, that that ability of Gemini to not just see things in a linear way, but to see things in a multifaceted way. You may be traveling somewhere. There could be something about vaccinations. I don't know if somebody's had a vaccination or you need to get a vaccination, because I'm getting like sometimes I get physical symptoms of like being a little bit psychic and I'm getting like a feeling in my arm like I've been vaccinated. It's like, you know, when it gets a little bit swollen. So yeah, vaccinations for somebody. Their name Chris could be important. And that's all your intuitive messages. So let me just move all these little bits and bobs out of the way. It's just so you've got something pretty to look at while I do the intuitive messages. Right, let's move everything over. And let's start pulling you some cards. So what's going on for Gemini, please? Can I have Gemini's energy on this side? And this is energy outside of you that could be affecting you. So Gemini's energy, it's a bit like you and them, but them could be a situation, people, a specific person. We'll see. Gemini's energy, please. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. That is too many. I'm not taking that many, but we'll see what's there. Time to go, but it's in reverse. Yeah, again, it's got this feeling of like wanting to go somewhere but being very stuck. So it could be something like you want to go and travel, but you need to have a specific vaccination before you travel. It's like it's not quite time to go, or like there's some kind of obstacle to you doing what you want to do. It's the way it feels to me. Shake your head, have some fun. It just keeps coming through. If maybe taking life very seriously, maybe having a lot of responsibilities and things like this, and it's like you just need to go out and have some fun, right? It's like you have to shake it off. Maybe with a specific person who is fun to be around, like the fun friend. You can often be that for people as well when you're in fun mood. Yeah. So as that card came out, what I was kind of getting into there was Gemini, you have two sides, right? You are the twins in the tarot. So that the intuitive messages come in as I'm speaking, so I'm kind of sometimes jump around a little bit. So yeah, you are the twins in the zodiac is what I'm trying to say, and you have the fun side, right? You have the side of you that wants to go out and have some fun, but you also have the stormy weather side. Stormy weather came through for somebody. feel like it came through for Aries. I don't know if I actually said it in the reading or not, but I was channeling stormy weather at one point. You could have like literally a storm warning. You could live somewhere where there's going to be a big thunderstorm. It's like, I want to go out and party, but there's a big storm. I want to fly somewhere, but I don't know if my flight's going to be delayed because of this thunderstorm coming through. So it could be a literal storm. But to me, it's talking about the stormy side, the stormy half of Gemini energy. So because you're very black and white, yin and yang, you've got the fun-loving, sociable party side. And what a lot of people don't see is the kind of darker side of Gemini, that you tend to keep it a little bit more to yourself. So you can start to see it if a Gemini is kind of in the workplace or being quite sociable, the grumpiness can start to show after a while. And it's like, it's because Gemini needs to explore the other half, right? The half that is stormy and dark and, you know, a little bit not melancholic, what's that other word that's trying to come through, like a misanthrope, right? It's like, I don't want to be around anyone right now, because you an intellectual sign, you're air, right? You're swords, so you have a lot of thoughts. Again, they kind of keep showing me, I'm trying to explain it, what I'm getting through, because it's more of a feeling than something I'm seeing, but it's almost like visually it's coming through to me as like, it's not coming through visually, but if I was to explain it visually, the way most people think is very linear. So if you imagine a laser, right, a laser coming like this, that's how most people think, in a straightforward way. Geminis and other signs like Libra as well think in a multifaceted way. So if you imagine, instead of a single beam of light, it's like a light show, right? It's like a laser show. You see more, right? You see in a multifaceted way where everything's kind of broken up into smaller pieces. So it's like almost like maybe somebody has ADHD. It's almost like your thoughts are more complex, your thoughts are more I just keep getting multifaceted. Your thoughts are more complex than most people's, because you're looking at more detail of a situation, where most people are getting the overview. It's like every day, right? Most people go out and imagine that experiencing a day is like reading a book, except for most people go out and they just read the cliff notes, right? They read the cover, and it's like, that's what happened today. Gemini, when you go out and you experience the world, it's like you read the whole book, every single word, all the detail of it. So at the end of the day, where most people are like, cliff notes, that's what happened today, you kind of go, okay, what happened today? Like, it's a whole story, right? It's like the complexity, the detail of it is much deeper. So sometimes you do need that kind of like, they're showing me like a decontamination tank, like in a sci-fi movie, so that could be something for somebody. You need to like decompress. You need to spend some alone time to allow those thoughts to process, right? To allow all that complexity to become kind of like long-term memory instead of short-term memory, right? You need to go through the ins and outs of it. So you need the quiet time is what I'm being shown. So storm warning feels to me like you've been doing something or dealing with something, and again, it could be like your work, your responsibilities, it could even just be life being very mundane, and you need the storm, right? So it's like you need the excitement, you need the blowout, you need to release that tension that's building up inside of you because of the amount of detail that's stored into your brain. It's like you need to just like release it in some sort of way. So it could be going out and partying and having fun and dancing, right, and shaking it off, because it's like shake your head, have some fun, and just kind of like really just having that kind of like explosive night out. It could be, for others of you, you're bottling it up a little bit, and maybe people around you are getting a bit irritating to you, not because they're doing anything particularly wrong, but because you need that different, it's like a different environment. So whether that's some alone time, a holiday, just a different situation, it's I get it because I've got a Gemini moon, so like I understand that. Storm warning. It could also be like somebody around you is feeling like this, so be aware. Is anyone showing signs of tension? What's going on around Gemini, please? What's going around Gemini? Yeah, because you can always flip and reverse it. So while I'm saying this is you and this is them, just know that you can flip it, because people do come in and cross-watch for Geminis that they know. So you may show up over here, but take it as it resonates. Patience, right? So it could be that somebody's being very patient with you, you're being very patient with somebody else. It could be that the situation itself requires patience, which is why this tension's building, right? So it's kind of like temperance as well. It's like control yourself, control your emotions. I don't know if somebody's saying this to you, like be patient, you know, the storm will clear, this phase will pass. Tell me about Gemini's energy. Yeah, you're if this is you, Gemini, you're in, you are trying to be patient, because the crocodile watches and waits, right? The crocodile is kind of in the background, analyzing the situation, just waiting for the right time. So I don't know if you're like ready to snap in some sort of way. It is quite an ancient wise energy though. So again, definitely fits in Gemini energy. Like you're the baby of the zodiac, right? You're like the playful child of the zodiac, but at the same time you're like this old soul. So you've got this like duality to your nature. Yeah, this feels like the darker side of Gemini. Watching, waiting. Maybe letting a storm blow over as well. If this is environmental for you, it's like waiting for the storm to pass so that you can do what you want to do. And it does feel like you've got something up your sleeve, right? It does feel like you're keeping your cards close to your chest in some sort of way and being patient, because the situation requires patience. There's something about emotions as well, like the storm. Water always symbolizes emotion. So this is water and air being symbolized here. So we have water. A storm would be like choppy emotions, like feeling a bit like maybe in a washing machine. I feel like somebody else had that motif, like feeling a little bit like, if it's your emotions, it's kind of like your emotions are kind of swinging a little bit. You know, one day you're up, one day you're down, or you're feeling very over emotional about something. It's like the waves are high, and something's stirring you up, right? Something's stirring up emotions. The air is thoughts. So the thoughts are stirring up your emotions regarding something. There could be something that's ending for you, and of course endings and new beginnings, because we have a 10 here. 10 breaks down to 1, so 10s are completion, 1s are new. So if something's wrapping up, something new is starting, there could be a lot of emotions around this, because you're overanalyzing, I want to say, but it's your nature to overanalyze. So it's part of your nature to do this. So allow the time to do what you need to do, to have that thinking process. And it's like, it's funny, I listened to that Lana Del Rey song that keeps coming through this morning, that I can turn blue into something beautiful. It's like no emotions are bad, right? It's what we do with them and how we deal with it. So if your part process, I definitely see this as well. I've got so many like Virgos in my life. It's like for some reason, I just gravitate to Virgo energy, but I really noticed this about my Virgos. They can the reason why I'm talking about Virgo, sorry to explain my thoughts fully, Gemini, is because Gemini and Virgo are both associated with the planet Mercury. Mercury is a planet of communication, and it's a very analytical planet as well. It's to do with like data and technology a little bit and things like this. So what I notice, a similarity between Geminis and Virgos is, and you could have Virgo placements or be dealing with a Virgo, so just kind of throwing that out there. A lot of people don't notice the social side of Virgo. Virgos are brilliant in social situations. They're really like a team player. They keep people together. Gemini also has that social side, which they're more well known for. What people don't notice about Gemini as much, but do pick up on in Virgo a lot more, is the kind of the processing, alone time that comes with that. Because you can have too much of a good thing, right? If you are a social person, you also need the quiet time, and vice versa. So you're kind of like a mirror of each other, Gemini and Virgo. And I don't think people, it's like if people always expect you to be the fun one, like we'll ask Gemini out, Gemini will know what to do. Gemini's always up for anything. Not necessarily. You just tend to hide that the quiet time where you do the processing. It's kind of like the hermit energy of Virgo. You also have that, right? Patience. Otter in reverse. Yeah, so I feel like somebody wants you to go out and play with them. The otter always is, for me, is always looking for the playmate. So it can be romantic, it doesn't have to be. But it's like I was picking up on that Bros song by Wolf Alice. It's like the best friend energy, like the playmate. You know, the person who I want to go out and have some fun with. Sorry, they're showing me trainers again. I forgot to mention it at the start of the reading. They were showing me comparing trainers or comparing foot size. That could be something for somebody. I don't know if that's something you've done with this person. And maybe drawing on your trainers as well. I don't know if you went through a phase of doing that in high school or even now. I don't know, not judgy. So the otter in reverse is like, it's like, if this is like looking for my playmate, it's like, maybe that more intensely. So it's like this person over here is being very patient with you as you go through a stormy patch, but they are watching, looking out for you. Look, they're facing your way, you're facing away from them because you're dealing with this storm. Again, this can be vice versa. So, but I think they're missing you. They're being patient, but they're missing you. They want their playmate. They want to go out and have some fun. The otter is one of my favourite cards, by the way, because I love that kind of Two of Cups companion energy that comes along with it for me. And it's very playful and it's very fun. And this person as well, like if you did even reach out to them, even just say, look, I'm going through something right now. I just need alone time for a bit. This person might actually turn out to be somebody who can sympathize with you and really help you out, because they're also showing as water. You're showing as water here and they're showing as water. But the otter is kind of very positive when it comes to the emotion energy. So if you're feeling a little bit crocodile in that stormy water, this person could actually have quite a soothing, calming presence on you because they're showing us patience and this kind of playful otter energy. So I do feel like this person could help you out a little bit. I feel like there's a feeling though where, again, flip it and reverse it if needs be. There is a feeling coming off these cards though, between these two, of because you're turning away, it's like you don't want to, I'm hearing like darken their doorstep. You don't want to bring this to their doorstep, right? You don't want to bring this storm that way. You're kind of trying to keep them out of it to a certain extent, because perhaps they are also younger than you, or it's a child, or there's something childlike about them. They seem a little bit a little bit innocent in some sort of way, where your dark side could have been involved in this storm in some sort of way. So you don't want to kind of like darken their doorstep is what I'm kind of getting. It's funny to me when the Gemini dark side comes out to play. It's like, here's the not their true nature, but part of their true nature, because it's not that there's anything false about the social butterfly side of Gemini, but it's because of the duality, right? So it's the full nature of Gemini. Like, if it's almost like if you don't understand my worst, you don't deserve my best. But you're always giving people your best, Gemini, right? You're always giving people the sweet side, the fun side, and hiding the darker side of yourself away, especially the lower vibrational Geminis who don't want to let that be seen. Again, I understand this super well because I've got a Gemini moon, and your moon placement is behind closed doors. Maybe you've got a Virgo moon or something, which could be why I'm talking about it so much. I mean, check out your full birth chart and check out all your placements, and definitely look at your moon, because your moon is the stormy side. You could have a water sign as well as your moon, which kind of really doubles up the moon energy, because the moon is an emotional planetary body. So yeah, I feel like check out your moon placement. So yeah, that kind of almost Jekyll and Hyde energy of Gemini. Like, yeah, if I explain like how that affects me, it may make sense to somebody. So I can be very, very grumpy, but I don't think I necessarily show it, because when I talk to people about it, so for example, people in work, sometimes they can be like, what, you're being grumpy? Like you're in a bad mood? I can't tell. So I don't know if I show which is like your sun sign or your rising sign, right? The way you present to the world. I don't know if I always necessarily show when I'm feeling the darker side. It's like the dark side. It's like Star Wars or something. But my family, the people who are close to me, they know that I have that like the dark side of the moon, right? That Gemini dark side of the moon, where it's like, okay, I can't be sociable right now. Like it's like when I come back from work, it's like my sociable or cognitive portion of myself is on overload. So it's like I need to kind of come and decompress from that. So it's like I need space, I need quiet. It's like, don't even bother talking to me, because I'm not going to be able to listen or take it in, because I'm in the decompression stage, right? So I just sit there and I watch something, or I'm on social media, and it's like, give me an hour or two and then I'll kind of like be back in it, because it's just that replenishing your energy, right? And how, for example, if you went out and had a big massive run, and again, I don't know if this is somebody that you're dealing with or this is yourself, but it's like, say you went out and you were you had a really big run, right? It's like you're going to be tired, your muscles are going to be achy, you're going to need to rest. It's the same with how much you kind of like capacity you have for social situations, and how much capacity you have for thinking. It's like at a certain point it's going to get full, and you need to take yourself out of those situations and have a rest. So a mental rest, a physical rest, an emotional rest, a social rest, like that is not abnormal to need that. I just think that sometimes that kind of black and white energy of Gemini makes it a little bit more, I don't know, apparent perhaps. Saw the polar bear, so something that somebody's persisting with. Tell me about storm warning and crocodile. Again, it's like, if you don't get it, if you're not getting the respite period, that storm's going to build, and it's going to make you grumpy and irritable. Tell me about Gemini's energy. There could be something going on about your home. It could be a source of frustration to you, because this is like the ugly home to me. There's two houses in I've got the Lenormand and the Findy Sickle deck, the Kipper deck. So there's two houses. So this is like the ugly house, the penis house, I call it. So there could be something where there's something about your home that's bothering you, or you want to do home improvements, or you could, because the thing with this house is it's a comfortable home, it's a beautiful home, it's like the difference between an ugly, comfortable home and a beautiful, sterile home. So there is positives to this, but there could be something to do with your house that's bothering you. Again, if you do live in like a storm area, you know, check. For example, I've had it where a big storm's come through and it's taken off a roof tile, so water's coming through the roof. So if there is a literal storm coming, take care of your house. You know, whatever's appropriate for the area that you live in. But the King of Cups as well here, the King of Hearts, is deep, deep emotions. Very deep emotions, deep love for something or something. And it may be that you see the beauty in something where nobody else does. Or it could be that somebody sees the beauty in you where nobody else does. Like the beauty in your dark side. Again, that Lana Del Rey song, I can turn blue into something beautiful. You know, there's poetry and melancholy. So, you know, there's sympathy when we can understand those darker moods of others. So and that's beautiful. So it's not the feelings themselves, it's not the emotions, it's not the behavior itself, it's what you do with it, like how you use that resource is the important thing. So again, I do feel like perhaps, I keep seeing this, so I'm going to pull it out, perhaps you are hiding a certain part of yourself, or it could be, yeah, oh, somebody could be grieving, despair and coughing. So this is coming out on this side. So the magnifying glass says take a closer look at something. There's something you need to inspect more closely. You need to look at the details of this. So it could actually be this person around you as well. So do flip it and reverse it. It's kind of coming through a bit on both sides. Despair and coughing. So the coughing is the ending of a situation, the closure of a situation. It could be literally a death, literally a grieving period, especially because despair has come out here as well. It could also be a job. Somebody could have lost their job, you know, or a situation that has ended and they're having trouble starting something new. Because 1 and 9 breaks down to a 10 and 3 and 2 break down to a 5. 5s are about changes, 10s are about endings. So there's a change coming through here because of some sort of ending, or there's a change and something is closing out. Yeah, if you're being patient with this person, it's because they could have suffered a loss, and it could be somebody's lost their best friend as well with the Otter in reverse, or someone who was like a best friend, that kind of Two of Cups relationship. So yeah, patience. But there is an angel here, you know, looking over this person. This little dog as well. Dogs may be symbolic for somebody. Somebody may have a small dog. Okay, we'll pull clarifiers. The whip on the underlying. Okay, so what are we doing with your energy? What am I feeling for you? I think I'm feeling Witch's Tarot for you, Gems. Because they're showing me the Seven of Swords, which has a very Gemini character on it in this deck. He's got like, it's the expression is just so Gemini. It's like, yes, I'm up to mischief. Okay, what do we have? Sorry, I'm just really noticing as well the way this guy looks. So kind of his hair especially. So I don't know if you know somebody who kind of looks a little bit like this. Maybe reach out to them. They could be going through something. Just with the short dark hair. Storm warning, crocodile, and house. Gemini. The sun. So the sun comes in after the storm. The storm serves a purpose, right? The storm clears the air. So yeah, I don't know if you're having a bit of an argument, a bit of a conflict with somebody with that Five of Swords energy. But it's like when the storm passes, I do feel kind of like long game energy for you here with that crocodile, because the crocodile waits and plays the cards close to the chest. So you're letting the storm pass. You're letting something roll through. And again, the storm could be this person's emotions. Like you're letting the darker emotions, you're giving them the time they need, right, to have this storm, like, and the sun will break through. So the sun illuminates, shines a light. It's an energetic card. It's a very, very positive card. It's very happy. It signifies freedom, freedom, expansion. Could have a Sagittarius involved as well because of the horse. The sun card itself is a Leo card, so that could be significant as well for somebody. Tell me about the house. Ooh. Page of Cups. Yeah, there's emotion here. You've got a lot of emotion coming through on your side, Geminis. So you could have a child. There could be something about a child in the home, especially particularly a Pisces child, but you don't have to. It could just be that you're feeling quite, again, this big wave coming through, right? So it's an emotional overwhelm. So it could be that you feel a little bit vulnerable here in some way. Connected to some home. It could be your childhood home, right? Your family home. Something about a home is making you feel a little bit emotionally naive, a little bit insecure, but very, very authentic. The Page of Cups for me is like a pure emotion being expressed or being offered. It can also indicate an apology. So something could be happening where somebody's apologizing in the home and it's bringing in almost an emotional tidal wave. But I want to say you're going to be okay because you've got the sun card there. I do feel like a sense of planning with this. Tell me what needs to be looked at more closely. A decision. Somebody's made a decision. They're waiting for the ships to come in. So this could indicate if there's been some kind of loss, it's somebody who's waiting for their inheritance perhaps. What's really funny actually with these cards that are coming out, I'm wearing my Nana's ring. My Nana passed away a couple of weeks ago. And this is one of her little like vintage rings. And her necklace as well. I've got a necklace on that she wore all the time. So I didn't get a huge amount from my Nana, but a couple of things that I did get are quite really meaningful and special to me. And it's not about the value of the objects. I have no idea what anything's worth, but it's because they're symbolic of my relationship with my Nana. But it's funny that I'm wearing an inheritance, and I'm talking about inheritance here. So somebody could be waiting for some kind of payout if a situation's ended. Again, if this isn't loss and grief, it could be because a job has closed out, right? They're waiting for some kind of like paycheck from the job, or they're waiting for, perhaps if this is a redundancy, they're waiting for the redundancy money to come through. But there's something that they're waiting for and a decision has been made, but there's a closer look. This needs inspection. Look at the fine details of whatever this is. If that's a message for you, not a message for you, it's a message for your friend. Look, that's the guy I was saying about the Seven of Swords. It's very, very Gemini to me. I don't know, he kind of looks like some Gemini men that I've known who definitely are a little bit sneaky. So just be careful. There could be people around you who are being a little bit sneaky, but it's kind of that, like, that energy for me of Gemini being like, yes, I'm causing mischief, yes, I'm doing something sneaky, and I'm enjoying doing it, right? So he's doing it for a good reason as well. What that character's actually doing is taking swords from a battlefield so that they can't be used to injure anyone the next day. So if there is some kind of conflict going around you, I feel like you're almost disarming people, perhaps like through your charming nature, you're disarming people, right? And it's kind of diffusing the situation. I hope so. That's a very positive way to use your mischief energy, your social mischief energy, Gemini. Tell me about despair. Yeah, it's some kind of contract, right? Look at the fine details more closely. If there's any kind of paperwork, any kind of contract, any kind of legalities, really, it's funny that I was talking about reading the book, right? Don't just read the cover notes, read all the words, right? Read the fine print of this. So yeah, don't let this, it's like, don't let a loophole be written into a contract, or don't let some kind of scam happen. Really inspect it. If you're not good at like legal stuff, and again, this could be a friend of yours, so this could be something that you need to help a friend with, because you have the analytical mind, right? You will read all the words, right? And you will analyze them. So it could be something that you're helping somebody with. It could be a Libra involved as well, not necessarily. It's like, read the fine details. If you or your friend are not good with legalities or like the technical legal jargon, I'm comfortable using legal jargon in everyday life. It's giving me legally blonde quotes. It's like, because there's something hidden. That with the Justice card, this veil indicates behind closed doors, like you know, when the jury go out to deliberate, it's like the legal things that happen behind closed doors. So if you are not confident with analyzing this, or your friend isn't confident with really looking at the fine details, get a solicitor, get a legal advisor, get a lawyer. If you know anyone who's like this, they're actually showing me someone who I know deals with contracts, but I don't know them personally. It's kind of like a friend of a friend. You know, if you know anyone like that, get them to have a look at it. You know, ask them to call in a favour. Be like, come on, I'll buy you a few drinks if you go over this contract for me. Maybe have the drinks after you've gone over the contract, but you know. Despair. Yeah, Tower moments. It could be a shock. Whatever's ended, whatever's causing this despair and grief for this person, it could have come in like a Tower moment, right? It could really have felt like the whole world was falling apart. Again, they could have lost the job. They're worried about getting another job. Maybe they're struggling to get another job. Maybe they're worried about their home. Maybe they're worried about their finances. Maybe they're worried about I don't know what it is, but there is an energy of somebody getting a little bit screwed over here, and somebody's really struggling. This is a shock. Again, with that Lana Del Rey song, I can turn blue into something beautiful. Situations are what you make of them. So yes, these situations happen. I believe it actually came through in your... I've deleted it now because I was having trouble with the last set of readings, but last week when I kind of didn't have any videos, I had actually recorded about 8 videos in that time period, but none of them felt right. I had this strange feeling of like, you have to let people trust their own intuition. You have to remove the guidance for a while so that people can almost like taking off the training wheels, right? So for those of you who've been doing the shadow work, who've been learning to trust your intuition, it's like, if we take off the training wheels, if we don't have this external guidance, then we want people to go inwards. This is kind of the message coming from my guides to me, because I'm experiencing it too, because one of the tarot card readers that I really, really like on YouTube, San Tarot, she's gone very quiet. I think in the past 2 weeks, she's released 1 video. So I'm really struggling to not have that like that external guidance that I rely upon. That's been difficult for me. So it's like, I'm getting the same message, it's happening to me, and it's also because it's going through like a collective thing. It's like collectively everybody has to have the training wheels off and to practice trusting their own intuition and tapping into their own higher guidance. So it feels like that was something that was happening last week, and kind of we're back in the flow. But in the last reading that I did for you, Gemini, I'm remembering now there was something about grief. And I remember talking about, it's so funny that I've put on my Nana's jewellery for this video. Like, I did it kind of subconsciously as well. I didn't remember that this came through in your last reading. I was asked to do my nana's eulogy, and I was nervous about it, but I do have quite good communication skills. You know, I went to university. I had to write you know, persuasive essays with a beginning, a middle and an end. So I was quite confident that I was going to be able to put something together. And I kind of asked everybody, like my family, to send me memories and to send me stories of Nana so I could do the eulogy. Because it's a bit more personal, right? If a person does the eulogy, like who knew the person, it's more personal than if a priest who didn't really know them does it. I've had that before and it's felt very sterile. So I got all these messages and all these stories from my family, and I hadn't seen a lot of them for a long time. So I was really pleased with my eulogy, and it went really, really well. And it kind of did have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it had funny stories in, and people were kind of laughing at the right place. And I kind of wrapped it up with at the end to bring in the emotions. But what I was kind of saying was, you know, grief and death teaches us how to live. Right, and it teaches us how to survive grief for the people around us. You know, death teaches us how to live. It was the main message that I was getting through there. So it's like, you know, it teaches us how to survive. It teaches us how to process really difficult feelings of loss and of endings. It teaches us how to be strong for others. So there's all these positive things that come out of a difficult situation of losing someone. And this is what I was really trying to say in that reading. Yeah, I had my children there as well. Like it was a school day, and I gave them the option. I said, would you like to come to the funeral or would you like to go to school? And they came with me in the end. My son was, at the last minute, he was like, no, I want to come. And I was really pleased because I was like, I want my children to see me being strong in a difficult time. I want my children to see me stand up there on that podium and deliver this message, and the strength in that, right? And not just the strength for me, but the strength for other people, like my family, my loved ones, especially my dad, you know. And it's so funny because I lost my mum at, my mum and dad are divorced. They've been divorced for a very long time. And my mum, I lost her at Christmas. So my mum passed away at Christmas, and my nana was my dad's mum. So I lost my mum before my dad lost his mum. So it's like I'd already done that, and I was kind of my dad's parent in that moment. So yeah, it's like because my dad lost his dad at a really young age as well, and it was a shock, it was a heart attack. So that was a really traumatic experience for him. So I don't think he was ready to lose his mum. I think he was still sort of perhaps he hadn't processed the loss of his dad fully. So the loss of his mum as well was he just wasn't ready for it, I feel. Where I've done a lot of processing over the past few years in terms of grief. So I've become stronger through it. And I feel like I could really support my dad in that time. So just really interesting, like that it literally did turn something blue into something beautiful. And recognise that strength in myself and showed it to my children. I don't hide grief from my children. We deal with it, right? We process it. So some of the things we do, I don't know if this is helpful to anyone. For example, when we've lost pets, especially when we lose pets, because, you know, it's such a close attachment for a child and an animal. You know, there's such a source of comfort. So sometimes we will make a photo album with pictures of the pet. Sometimes we'll get a diary and we'll write down our favourite stories of that pet. We'll, you know, if we'll either bury them and do a little ceremony, or we'll, you know, paint a stone and put the stone out in the garden, or, you know, and it's bringing these feelings to the surface. It could also be that seeing somebody else grieving is bringing up latent emotions in you that haven't been properly addressed. But it's like they're bringing them to the surface. It's kind of like showing me like the silt stirring up at the bottom of the ocean, these big waves coming. So if you're feeling very over emotional because you're seeing a friend go through something like this, it's because it's bringing it to the surface so that it can be aired out by that sunshine, right? So it's whatever's happening, Gemini, even though it's difficult, it's a positive thing for you and this person, all these people around you. Temperance. So there is a loss of patience here. Somebody could have lost a Sagittarius, because you've got Sagittarius. So whatever this lid is that's being closed on this situation. There's an impatience. Again, it could be somebody dealing with the legalities. Again, it could be like loss and grief, and it could be the end of a situation, like you know, somebody's been made redundant, right? Whatever's ending or ended, I do feel like it's been a little bit drawn out. Again, there could be an argument over property, perhaps. There's definitely law or contracts or legalities involved. And there's this thing about looking at the details. So it could be that somebody's looking at the details, or it could even be that there's some kind of court process going on around this, which is making it drag out. And it's making it really difficult to, because it's like a sustained storm, right? It's not like a storm that it comes and goes in a few hours. It feels like a storm that's been tolerated for a long time. So again, it can be, you know, sometimes families don't get along. So it could be like a legal battle over a will or something. But it feels like there's a loss of patience here. There's a loss of, or it's an ending to the situation where somebody had to be very patient. Let me just clarify that Temperance card. And she's turning blue into something beautiful. She's mixing these emotions and she's creating rainbows, right? So rainbows may be significant, particularly if you've lost somebody, you know, the rainbow bridge and this kind of thing. Yeah, no, there's a situation that's getting too much for somebody, that somebody's really dealing with something really difficult here. The Tower, Despair and Coffin. That's really difficult. So I don't know if you're saying to this person, shake your head, have some fun, let's go out, let's have some fun, and this person is just not, they're not there, right? Because this is actually being clarified by one of the most painful, difficult cards in the whole of the tarot, which is the Nine of Swords. This really is despair. This is bad mental health. This is somebody who needs support. This is somebody who needs to reach out. This is somebody who needs counselling, who needs to see a doctor. It's literal, like, bad mental health issues. Again, you could have this for a night, right? This could be a really bad day, but this is feeling with patience and temperance, really feeling like this is a long drawn out process, and it's somebody who's really getting in the head about it, and they're feeling really drained. This is literally, if you look closely, she's got like a vampire mark on her neck. It's like she's had the life sucked out of her. So yeah, really, this person is not in a good place. We'll get some advice for you. Knight of Wands. It's like, go out and have some fun. I don't know why I used the same deck for both of you there. I was going to use two decks, but I used the same one. So there could be, again, this could be the two sides of yourself in some sort of way, Gemini. What do we need? I'm feeling the Rose Oracle. Let's get you, I'm going to get you two advice cards. So take it, could be advice for you, it could be advice for your friend. Take it as it resonates. But I'm going to get you the Rose Oracle because this is, it's got a lovely, especially if you've lost a female figure, like a mother or a grandma or a nana. It's a really nice, yeah, look at this. Oh, look at this, it's so beautiful. Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion, humanity. The reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship. Okay, two things that are coming through this. One, all morning I've been thinking about how when I was little, I remember it must have been maybe about 10 years old, something like that. I remember getting really convinced that I had a sibling. And I was really emotional about it. And I was like, I just had this feeling like I had a sibling out there. And I remember questioning my mum about it. I was like, Mum, this is a really weird question, but do I have a sibling? Like, you know, do I have a twin? It felt like there was two of us, right? It felt like there was me and I had a twin. And I was like, what happened to my twin? And my mum was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I had one baby and it was you. And I was like, but where's my twin? And it was like this complete, it's so funny that I was thinking about this morning and I'm doing Gemini's reading. So I don't know if that's significant to anyone, especially with the reunion. It's like, and soul recognition as well, returning to each other. I don't know if you have like maybe not a physical twin like here on earth, but maybe you have a soul twin, or maybe it's just you and the other half of yourself, right? Being Gemini, being the twins. So is this, I feel like there's a it's funny as well because I didn't say it. You know how I was just saying it's funny that I used the same deck for both of you. So it's almost like I'm meant to be reading for you and them, but it feels like they're both you, right? Because you are the twins. So it's like it's one and the same. It's the flip side of the coin, in some sort of way. And it feels like this, it does feel like this kind of like union energy, because it's both decks. It's like pulling together. And again, it's funny that I was saying about, right at the beginning of the reading, I was saying it's like you're meeting up with an old childhood friend or something. It's like you're having some kind of reunion. So maybe you're having like a high school reunion. For others of you, it's coming through with soul family and being together in heaven. My mum was called Janet, and I was going for a walk one day in the park, and as I kind of approached a certain spot, somebody went past me in a little wheelchair. They were being pushed in a wheelchair, and I thought, it reminded me, because I'd been in that exact same spot. My mum and my uncle, when my uncle was very sick, we'd gone for a day out to that exact place. And my mum and I had pushed my uncle in his wheelchair. And so I was thinking about this memory of, and this was after I'd lost them both, like my uncle passed away and then my mum passed away. And I was thinking about this memory of that day out and how lovely it was to be together. And the song that played, and it started to play at that exact moment, but I paused without realizing what the song was. I paused because I was ordering some food, and I sat down with my food and I pressed play, and I realized that the song that had started playing in that moment, in that exact spot that I'd been with my uncle and my mum, right, my mum and her brother, and I had been having that memory. The song that was playing was Together Again by Janet Jackson. Now my mum is called Janet. And that song is beautiful in terms of when you lose someone. It's there are times when I look above and, you know, think in heaven we will be together. So dream about us together again. So it was really this message of like my mum and my uncle being together again, and not only together again in heaven, or, you know, in the afterlife, whatever you want to call it, but also being with me in that moment, in that memory. So it's this incredible, beautiful, synchronistic series of events that happened to me that, again, like, it happens so much to me that I really do believe it. I believe in the synchronicities. I believe in these messages that are coming through. I believe in the afterlife. I believe that when people leave their physical body, they're with us in the spiritual body. So this, to me, it really is a message of, if you've lost someone, you will be together again. They are always around you. Returning to each other, compassion, humanity, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. I just realised I've been recording, I'm on the wrong angle. There could be something about looking at something from a different angle. And again, I don't know. There's no specific religion that's telling me all these things. It's my own internal guidance and feelings, my own experience of communicating with forces beyond myself that's teaching me here. I don't have a priest to tell me, because I'm just tying this back in with Taurus's reading yesterday. I don't have a priest to tell me that my mother is with me. My mum is telling me that she's with me through my feelings, through the synchronistic coincidences that I'm witnessing. Returning to each other, compassion, humanity. And this is not for me to tell you that this is what you should also believe in. You either believe in it or you don't, right? But if you are feeling the feelings, if you are seeing the synchronicities, if you are getting those messages, and you want to believe in them, then do. A sacred symbol of the feminine, the rose has been here much longer than us. In ancient times, garlands of roses were placed around statues of mother goddesses in worship of her. We are all her children. She connects and unites us all. So this could be Mother Mary as well, perhaps, for some of you. If we trace her roots far enough, maybe we'll find our way back to each other. We're living in a time of great division, learning and unlearning, or even Eve, right? If we trace, for those of you who believe in the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve, if we trace our roots back far enough, maybe we'll find our way back to each other. You know, we're all interlinked. We're living in a time of great division, learning and unlearning. We're together mending the thread of humanity. together again. This is a card of returning to union by facing what's been broken, separated and severed, to realise that we're all human, and while harm has been done, what's needed now is for us to acknowledge what happened and endeavour to find a way to return to each other. Again, I was picking up on some conflict there, so you know, this could be a reminder that we're all cut from the same cloth. You know, if you prick us, do we not bleed? To realise that it's possible for two people to have different experiences at the same time and that both can be true. That is very Gemini. People can have different experiences at the same time and both can be true, right? Allow space for duality. Allow space for conflict and for things to not make sense. If you allow for that, then you don't have to find the answers. You can just accept that this and that are true. Mother Rose longs for humanity to drop our defences and reach out to each other with deep honesty and compassion, to face and untangle the sadness, the anger and hurt from our hearts with the help of her grace, to dig our roots deep until we find common ground. Which relationships are difficult for you now? Who has hurt you? How can you soften and express your truth without being defensive? How can you open yourself up to the possibility that two truths can exist at once? Rose transmission. Mother Rose, please show us how to find our way back to you, the earth and to each other. Please help me to acknowledge what's difficult for me and may my heart be filled with compassion for all. And then we have the reunion, which is so wonderful. Soul recognition, collaboration, partnership and friendship. This current period in history has been spoken of by mystics throughout the ages, and as you choose to incarnate right in the middle of it, you didn't do so alone. We came here in waves, with soul joint missions, joint soul missions. You were never meant to walk this life alone. It's time to come back together, to remember that we're not in competition, rather we hold keys for each other. This is the way of the rose, to bloom bravely, regardless of what others are doing, and not be threatened when others do this alongside of you. So they're showing me the album cover for that Lana Del Rey song that I was talking about. The album cover, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, has a big group of women. So again, it could be like sisters, cousins, mums, aunties, daughters. Even if you're a man or there's men involved, because you know, picking up the name Chris, it's kind of gender neutral. You know, the feminine side of us coming together, the part of us that knows how to nurture, the part of us that knows how to seek connection and support, that part of us coming back together again and supporting each other. The rose doesn't open and close according to who's walking by. She reveals her beauty to the world without waver. You are here to do that too. There are people who at a soul level choose to walk alongside you, but for them to find you, and that's so funny because I was talking about the lost twin, right? The soul twin. For them to find you, you must let them see you. Reveal yourself to the world. Open your heart and mind to collaboration rather than competition. So many of us, particularly those who identify as women, have learned to be mistrustful of one another, as if we are in competition. This card comes with a message of collaborations, partnerships and friendships, a confirmation that one or more people are entering your life. Or it could be a sign that you're being called to co-create on a project with somebody that you know already. Decide to bloom together. Rose transmission. I release any old programming of competition. I open myself up to relationships and collaborations. It's safe for me to trust and to co-create. It's safe for me to speak clearly. It's safe for me to set clear boundaries and collaborate. I am going with... What am I feeling for you? I'm feeling... Let's go with Spirit Animal Oracle. Again, maybe you have a particular animal that you associate with a person, or this person may communicate to you through this animal in the next few days or weeks. So can I get a sign or a symbol, please, as guidance for the people watching this reading today? Okay, White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic, and Grasshopper Spirit, take a leap of faith. So watch out for ravens, especially white ravens. That's quite unusual. So if you do see a white raven, it could come in with a big message for you from Spirit. Watch out for white feathers and grasshoppers. So if people mention grasshoppers, maybe people quote that what's it, a Karate Kid quote to you. If you see grasshoppers, if you see a real one, if you see these creatures in the news or in media, pay attention, because it could be that it's coming with a message from spirit. So yeah, 66 and 30 could also be significant numbers, so watch out for those. It says trust in the magic and take a leap of faith. And faith is a tricky thing, right? Faith requires that we're brave. Faith requires that we put our trust into something that's unknown. But you're being told to trust in the magic, and you're being told to have that faith. So good luck with whatever you're doing. If you know who this is, do reach out to them, even if it's just sending them a funny meme and be like, I saw this, I thought it'd make you laugh. Or, you know, keep in contact with them. Send them something like every day or two. Be like, how you doing? Just thinking of you. I'm here if you need to talk. You know, you don't have to give them the answers. You can just make space for them. All right, do take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.